All right, so basically this one case though was so solid, right? You had all the evidence, and she come forward and she talked to the commissioners, and there's the paper and the rape advocate, and you got all these parts, right? So we decided to run a recall. Well, running the recall got everybody all freaked out, right? 30 years worth of crime and corruption in Lincoln County, Montana was about to collapse, all because we said no to one rape. There was a lot more that pivoted around this one. Okay? Now, of course, many people called me later. So-and-so woke up in a gravel pit. You know, so-and-so was at the bar, and then all of a sudden they woke up the next day, and, you know, and this happened over and over and over. And then the Tobacco Valley News lied about it. Okay? You're still being lied to about it, and you're still thinking I'm lying. I'm not frickin' lying. Excuse my cussing. So anyway, once we decided to do that, oh my goodness, everybody started coming out of the woodwork to protect the sheriff. Because if the sheriff goes down, right, everybody goes down. And boy, you know, he's been protected for beating his wife, more than one wife. His wife was worked at some pharmacy company and stole things, and then they protected the pharmacist because of things he did. And oh man, I only talked about like 3% of the information I was getting, and I was still persecuted for it. You know, go to MontanaCorruption.com. I was defamed. I was set up. I had a legal protective order against me, all because of telling these stories, right? All this information coming to me. Believe me, I could not make this stuff up. The stories that come to me were the sickest of the sick. And you folks are going to hear it all. I'm going to play videos and I'm going to play voices. I'm not going to stand alone anymore. You told me the story, and I'm going to tell you by name to protect myself. I'm tired of it. I just lost a $70,000 commission in Eureka, Montana, because the commissioners, the town council, state representatives, senators, and many other people refused to work with my buyer on a business he's starting in Eureka, Montana, if he worked with me. I've had enough, and I'm not going to stand alone. These are not my stories, they're your stories, and they're true. Okay? Don't blame me, I'm just the messenger. Okay, so once we started running a recall, that's when things got really ugly. Okay? They're like, you can yap, and you can piss and moan, and you can talk on your blog about whatever you want, but once a recall is filed, oh my God. Right? Okay, well, so we went to different groups and tried to get support for the recall, right? Oh, everybody's scared. Everybody's scared. The Tobacco Valley News said, oh, this is Eureka, Montana. We're Montanans. They're not scared. Bull. We talked to hundreds and hundreds of people at the Lincoln County Fair, and they were scared. They were scared of being killed. They were scared of losing contracts, scared of economic terrorism, scared of law enforcement harassing them, being set up for the smallest things. And setting up for the smallest things, we're going to talk a whole lot about. By name, by case. Matter of fact, several of us are going to file criminal complaints and lawsuits against every single one of you, listed at MontanaCorruption.com. And you know what? Enough is enough. Okay, just went on another tangent. Why am I doing this now? Because I got another death threat, and I'm not going to go out without you folks knowing my side of everything, because this is what happened. And I'm going to miss a lot of stuff, and I'm going to go back to it. If I can remember where I even was. Anyway, make sure this is still recording. So basically, one of the elements, the recall was really about a dog murder and this rape, right? And this basic premises was, you're getting cases, Bernie Cassidy, Lincoln County, Montana attorney. You're doing nothing about it, right? You're getting bought off, and the judges are bought off, and they're putting cases up, and they're, you know, BernieCassidy.com is my site on that. He still has denied me a complaint that proves where my death threat came from. To this day, he's denied me that. To this day, he's endangered my life and defamed me. No accountability, no transparency, and none required. Oh, another tangent. Anyway, so the recall was about kind of those things. Well, during that time, we went to several groups to try to get support. They're all too scared, right? Well, this one group, which I was not a part of before that, it was a Ron Paul group. And I never went to the Ron Paul group. People had told me I should, but I'm like, nah, I don't really like Ron Paul. Well, I listened to the presidential debates, and he was the only one that sounded like he had a brain. So, you know, I like him now. Anyway, I never went to it when it was a Ron Paul group. But it was called Lincoln County Watch, and basically the idea of it, the first one, there was tons of people, because everybody's like, yeah, let's watch what's going on in Lincoln County, and let's tell each other. And at that time we were seeing, yes, men in black and cargo planes and all kinds of crazy stuff was happening, and then all these rapes and these crimes. And I mean, yeah, it sounds like a conspiracy. I saw it, my own eyes, been in Eureka my whole life. I've never really been in trouble until this trouble I'm in now because I told the truth. Tangent. Anyway, so Lincoln County Watch, the group got really, really small after all hell broke loose, but it really was just about everybody saying, hey, what's going on, oh my gosh, your car got broken into, your home was robbed, nobody's doing anything about it, the sheriff's not accessible to you, all this stuff going on, right? Well, the first one that I was at, and you can see in my YouTube channel, Eureka Montana News, jammed together, you can see the videos of that first Lincoln County Watch that I was at. And basically there was this man there named Paul Stramer. I'll do some videos on Paul Stramer, but basically I've known him my whole life in a way of can't stand him, scary man, militia, anti-government. I just don't like the man. Even in real estate, I wouldn't even show the place that he had because though nobody was there, because I was so freaked out about it. Okay, well, I was freaked out about it because the newspaper made me be freaked out about it, because 13 years prior to that, he was in the paper, right? The sheriff, everybody's telling all these stories, and I'm going to believe the sheriff. All the commissioners are saying it, I'm going to believe them. The newspaper said it, Missoulian said it, Eureka News, everybody said it. It must be true, right? Well, 13 years prior to 39, or whatever, in the 90s or whatever, I still maybe had some faith in the news. Maybe had some faith in the commissioners and politics. Maybe just a little bit. And so I believed it. And like I said, the Paul Stramer thing we're going to talk about a lot. But this meeting basically was, I said, because, me, I like to keep it on the down low. Okay, not. I said right to him, I'm at the meeting, he's running it, and I'm like, you know what? No one's going to listen to you. You have a bad reputation and nobody's going to hear it. Right? Well, he politely and with dignity got riled up a little bit. He didn't show aggression, but he was riled up enough to tell his story. And I videotaped it. And for the first time, I heard his story. I heard his side of it. And now, looking back, I see it very, very clearly. And now, I have listened to interviews that reporters have had with Paul Stramer. The reporters' news from the corrupt Lee newspaper chain in Montana that owns the Missoulian and tons of other papers, they lied. You can hear the interview of what Paul said, and the paper said something different. Hello, there you go. I was at functions. I seen the thing happen. Then I'd see the mouths of the sheriff, the mouths of the commissioner, the newspaper flat out lie. So then I'm in a situation, right? I never really was friends with the man, never had a conversation alone with him. We certainly don't have the same spiritual beliefs. We certainly don't have the same lifestyle, right? When I'm faced with, do I judge his spiritual belief? Do I judge his lifestyle? Do I judge what people told me that this man was about? Or do I believe my own eyes, my own ears? I heard it. I saw it. The only honorable thing to do was say, hey, the lie will not become the truth on my watch. So I talked about it. I roared it. Okay. Well, that corruption and cover-up was very old and very deep. So the recall became all about Paul Stramer. All about not exposing something that happened 13, 14 years ago, right? And what I was doing for the recall, I made up my mind to be the watchdog at the gates. And anytime anybody attacked the recall, I was there. So basically, one of the points that ended up being on the recall was a denied carry permit, concealed carry permit to Paul Stramer. Well, that got everybody up in arms. So they needed to figure out a way to set Paul up in order to stop the concealed carry permit, in order to discredit what he was saying, discredit what I was saying, you know, hold all their wall of corruption finally together. So they needed at all costs to discredit Paul, which is how they brought in Sean Boucher. Now, MontanaCorruption.com is my story on that, and that story continues to this day. That story is what's going to expose tons of corruption in Montana. Anyway, so basically, all of this stuff came to me, and I had a choice to make. Do I hide under my bed, or do I say, you know what? The Great Spirit brought this to me. I'm going to take it. And I'm going to grab that sword, and I'm going to fight. And I'm not going to say, this is, oh my gosh, this is too much, and I can't do this. I'm very gifted at internet marketing, and I'm going to use it to give voice. And I'm not going to deny the truth that this Paul Stramer's saying, just because of our differences in lifestyle, our differences in belief systems, our differences on probably every subject except the truth, right? I'm not going to say he's lying or he's, you know, and regardless of what he's done in his life, I don't care what he's done in his life. I mean, I kind of do to a point, but all the stuff that's happening in his personal life wasn't what this was about. The stuff in my personal life wasn't what this was about. It was about the truth and not the lie, right? It wasn't about Republicans or Democrats or any of that. It was about what was really happening. And I couldn't say, oh yeah, this didn't really happen. I could see the wagons circling. I mean, we're talking politicians at the toppest of the top, and the newspapers. I could see the flood of information coming in from every direction to tell the lie. One man telling the truth. Do I join the lie or do I join the truth? Well, let's join the lie because everybody's telling it. Surely the newspapers are credible, right? Not. Everybody knows that. People that yell at me in the bars or in the store about what I'm saying, I'm like, well, you know, the newspaper's lying about it. And they're like, well, yeah, but that's the newspaper. So they expect me to have all the facts and all the truth, but they don't believe it anyway. But they don't hold the newspaper accountable. So this is just some of how some of this stuff started. Now I'm going to talk about each subject in detail, much as I can, and just kind of share with you folks what has happened to me over the last 2 years to give you an idea of what I'm doing. Whistleblowermedia.com, or you can email me, crystal@crystalcox.com, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you understand a little bit more about why I did this. It was never vindictive, it was never a vendetta against anybody. I never wanted to lose my way of life. I never wanted to be persecuted like this. But I will be damned if I will deny those victims a voice to make my own quality of life better. I just won't do it. It's not in me. So, whistleblowermedia.com. Have a great day.